With the abundant mineral resources in Nigeria, the mining sector remains one of the most viable platforms for diversifying the nation's economy and mitigating its overdependence on oil, which has caused severe financial instability. In 2005, the federal government launched a comprehensive reform to revitalize the mining sector with the assistance of the World Bank-funded Sustainable Management of Mineral Resources Project (SMMRP), based in the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development. The project, which was completed on May 30, 2012, made significant contributions to the transformation of the mining sector by initiating major reforms in governance, geological data generation, mining cadastre management, and support for artisanal and small-scale miners.
There is no state in this country that has not got one type of mineral or the other. Be it gemstones, be it solid minerals, be it critical metals, we have them all. So why should Nigeria be talking of poverty?
Following the success of this first intervention project, the federal government requested further assistance from development partners, the Australian Agency for International Development, (USAID), and the Canadian International Development Agency, (CIDA), who, in collaboration with the World Bank, designed and executed a 2-year externally funded output (EFO) program for the country. The program was designed to align with the government's key priorities. The critical inputs provided by the program supported the adoption of a roadmap for developing the country's mining sector. This eventually led to the launch of the Mineral Sector Support for Economic Diversification MinDiver Project in 2017 as a second World Bank intervention in the mining sector.
The Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, in line with the mandate establishing it, shall continue to provide requisite infrastructure and the necessary collaborations with the relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to ensure that the mining investment thrives.
And the roadmap was very useful for verifying and also supplement a better understanding of the key barriers affecting the sector in Nigeria. This, I must say that this was one of the main uses of the roadmap. And also we undertook also, or it was useful for us to undertake extensive consultations with Nigerian government officials, NGOs, a large number of stakeholders, so that we managed to get them aligned to the roadmap, and this was a key element to help help us, of course, in the process of designing the main components of the MinDiver project.
MinDiver was designed to amplify the sector's contribution to the Nigerian economy by strengthening government institutions, improving geodata infrastructure, and encouraging investments. These are targeted at the goal of diversifying the nation's economy as envisaged by the roadmap.
The key objective of the MinDiver project was to link with the approved roadmap and enhance the mining sector's contribution to the economy by strengthening key government institutions, improving information infrastructure and knowledge, and fostering domestic investment in the sector.
I've been involved in evaluation of those submissions, and I've been involved in the evaluation of the results of the activities, which are now all coming together, in particular through the mineral investment facilitation exercises and roadshows, which are showcasing Nigeria's potential as a mineral producer.
The project has radically improved access to geoscience data for mining investments in Nigeria. It has fostered investment by enhancing linkages between the mining sector and the broader economy, resulting in greater downstream value addition and improved livelihoods. The project invested in innovative technology infrastructure and strengthened critical institutions to optimize policy development, investment drive, sector regulation, and revenue management, while improving federal-state collaboration in the mining sector.
The mining sector fell asleep when the oil sector was discovered, but in recent years, the mining sector was seen as a sector that could help bring new economies and new employment opportunities for those states within Nigeria that were not able to benefit from oil.
Airborne Geophysical Survey. In accordance with the country's priorities as outlined in the roadmap for mining sector development, the project focused primarily on acquiring, storing, and distributing geoscience data. To achieve this goal, the MinDiver project is conducting a comprehensive airborne geophysical survey using geomagnetic and radiometric techniques. The survey covers 19 states in Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory, with a total area of 1.5 million line kilometers of flying. The states being covered are Kwara, Ekiti, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Ogun, Ebonyi, and Enugu. Others are Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Kaduna, Niger, Kogi, Taraba, Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, and Bauchi states.
The difference between the current airborne data set we are generating and the previous one that we did some few years back is that this is what we call high resolution, that is low altitude. And the simple logic is this, that the previous one is at higher altitude, while what we have now is at lower altitude. And what that means is that low altitude, you'll be able to see more things than you have at the higher altitude. That it doesn't stop at that. That having acquired those information, which is at about maybe 95 or 98% completed now with interpretation. The issue is this, that we have also been able to train our staff on interpretation and usage of this data set. And don't forget, the selection of area that the coverage area for this round of airborne survey, high resolution airborne survey, is what we call the proof of concept area. The areas were carefully selected from the previous airborne and also some geochemical data sets that we have on the ground. And with the level of completion and also the interpretation, more new things are coming in.
The National Geological Survey Agency have been the recipients of data which has been acquired through an airborne geophysical survey, covering 1.6 million line kilometers. It's magnetic and radiometric information which gives information about the surface geology, which will be very useful in determining mineral occurrences and perhaps identifying further projects for development. That information will be held within the Geodata Centre and will be made available for public view.
Airborne geophysical data is a critical component of the national geological infrastructure, providing objective information on the spatial distribution of geological formations and tectonics. The survey is being conducted using aircraft equipped with specialized sensors to collect data on the Earth's surface and subsurface geology, following the best global standards. The primary objectives of the Airborne Geophysical Survey were to gather detailed information on the geological composition and structure of the surveyed areas, identify potential mineral resources and deposits beneath the Earth's surface, aid in the exploration and mapping of mineral resources for the mining sector, and assess the environmental impact and risks associated with mining activities in the surveyed regions.
The structure of the mining sector is such that what a country can do is to provide a conducive environment for the private sector to invest in. And therefore, the emphasis was to answer the very important question of what do the mining investors want? What attracts them in coming into a country, any country? And number one was an improvement on the geology to answer the question, does Nigeria really have minerals that will attract investors? So we emphasize on producing enough data that will attract investors. And when this data is produced, how do we store them? How do we make them accessible to investors? The third issue is, if the investors start coming, how do we organize the investors such that there will be no conflict, both amongst the communities and amongst the investors themselves?
The extensive data from this project will help make informed decisions in the mining sector. The data will attract domestic and foreign investors and promote sustainable mining practices in Nigeria. The information collected from the Airborne Geophysical Survey would also help develop policies and strategies for responsible mining while minimizing environmental impacts.
Having acquired those information, which is at about maybe 95 or 98% completed now with interpretation, the issue is this, that we have also been able to train our staff on interpretation and usage of this data set. And don't forget, the selection of area that the coverage area for this round of airborne survey, high resolution airborne survey, is what we call the proof of concept area. The areas were carefully selected from the previous airborne and also some geochemical data sets that we have on the ground. And with the level of completion and also the interpretation, more new things are coming in. And we believe that at the end of the project, there are some consultants that have been engaged, big consultants. They are looking at the data set in conjunction with the follow-up geochemical we have done, high-density geochemical sampling we have done for those areas. It will be interesting and novel in the country, because at the same time you are doing airborne survey and high-density geochemical sampling around the same area, all through the provision of by MinDiver project. What this means is that we are trying to generate investable information.
Acquisition of drones. 2 geospatial mapping drones were acquired for the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency. The agency staff have been adequately trained to deploy the facilities for smart surveying and mapping. Drones offer several benefits for Geographic Information System (GIS) applications. They provide high-resolution imagery and data collection capabilities, which allow for speedy, accurate, and detailed mapping and analysis. The drones are equipped with various sensors and multispectral cameras to gather different types of data for specialized GIS projects.
It enhances our capture of remotely sensed data. And then, for example, in geological mapping, there are areas where you cannot access on foot, inaccessible areas that can't access on foot. So the drone helps to capture, it goes there and it captures the image of the area, and then comes back and then make analysis, and do the analysis from the image.
Ground geophysical survey equipment. MinDiver intervention at the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency also focused on improving ground geophysical surveys through the acquisition of critical state-of-the-art equipment. Some of these devices include sets of geological compass, differential global positioning systems, magnetometers, walking gradiometers, and handheld XRF analyzers. These devices help geologists collect accurate data about the Earth's crust and subsurface. They measure orientation, location, magnetic field, gravity field, and chemical composition of rocks and minerals. Together, they help create detailed maps of the Earth's geology and locate valuable mineral deposits. Geochemical mapping. The MinDiver project also conducted high-density geochemical mapping in target areas to complement the airborne geophysical survey. The geochemical sampling was carried out using various media such as stream sediments, soil, and rocks. Over 10,800 samples were collected from pits, cliffs, and roads, while stream sediments and rock samples were also obtained to analyze primary, trace, and rare elements. The activities covered 4 Global Reference Network GRN cells, which consist of 120 quarter-degree sheets. The selected areas for the high-density geochemical mapping are the proof-of-concept targets identified through the High-Resolution Airborne Geophysical Survey and the National Integrated Mineral Exploration Project NIMEP sites that show high geochemical anomalies from previous low-density mapping efforts. The selected areas are spread across 13 states in the country. Geochemical mapping has been a handy tool in defining metallogenic provinces in several countries worldwide. The datasets generated from the mapping activities are integrated with high-resolution airborne geophysical survey data to provide comprehensive geoscience information for investment promotion in the mining sector.
And with the airborne data, with the NIMEP data, with the geological data we have, that is geological mapping and geochemical mapping. One, the chemical characteristics will come from the geochemical mapping. That is, you pick samples from the stream sediment and also from rock sample and soil sample. And it will tell you the constituents, which can allow you to trace back or trace forward the sources of those anomalies that you are having in the soil. Now, the geophysics will tell you if these are structurally controlled. And in the geophysics, you have several parameters. You have the radiometric and the magnetic. That is going into the details. So what I'm trying to say is this, that all these information data sets will provide you a better leverage because, one, they are of higher resolution. In those days when we did the geochemical, we are picking maybe one sample in 75 square kilometer. Now, for higher resolution, we are picking one sample in 1 square kilometer. So you see, we can at least narrow it down to specific area, and that is what the investors are interested in.
Topographic maps. The MinDiver project has facilitated the upgrade of the existing topographic maps from the Nigerian Ordnance Survey to advanced international standards using the Multinational Geospatial Co-Production MGCP. The MGCP is characterized by a high level of detail, de-risked by high-resolution satellite imagery that defines relief, mountains, valleys, etc., hydrography, land use, transportation, structures, and boundaries. These activities conducted across various regions in Nigeria under the project have facilitated geodata acquisition and streamlined land exploration for mineral resources. A key outcome of the topographic mapping activities was the production of 340 detailed topographical maps covering the entire country. These maps provide essential information for mining companies and stakeholders, enabling them to identify potential mining sites, plan access routes, and assess environmental considerations. Integrating topographic mapping data with other geoscientific information has created a robust national geospatial database. This database supports informed decision-making and responsible resource management and enhances mineral exploration efficiency in Nigeria.
Having over about 290,000 square kilometer area, which is equivalent to about 340 1 in 50,000 topographic line maps. So that kind of data is very important and critical to the mining sector because it has a lot of advantages and usage.
National Geodata Center. The MinDiver project initiated and completed the establishment of a National Geodata Center to adequately store, manage, and disseminate the data it generates. The Electronic Geodata Center is equipped with state-of-the-art hardware and software resources, and it is located at the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency in Abuja with 2 substations at the National Steel Raw Material Exploration Agency and the National Geoscience Research Laboratories, both in Kaduna. The center, designed and built by the British Geological Survey, has a robust IT infrastructure that has been used to scan and transform analog data sets over 100 years old into digital formats. This includes crucial data such as Nigerian records in the UK, geological bulletins, maps, historical records with their related metadata, and an updated inventory of national geoscience data holdings. The activities also significantly impacted the digital skills of the staff of the agencies by providing training in database administration, software usage, and maintenance. This training has enhanced the proficiency of the workforce in modern digital workflow management.
In those days, when we don't have the geodata center, sometimes when people retire, they take away their laptop, the information is lost. We have to start all over again. But now with the geodata center, all our information database are in digital format. And we ensure that we store them with different levels of security such that there is no way an information will be missing forever. There must always be somewhere that you can trace it to.
Nigerian Mineral Resources Decision Support System, NMRDS. As part of the efforts to transform the technological base of the Nigerian Mineral Information System for data storage and use, the MinDiver project conducted an extensive review and upgrade of the Nigerian Mineral Resources Decision Support System, NMRDSS, based in the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and the Ministry of Steel Development to improve decision-making processes related to mineral resources in Nigeria. The project focused on integrating the Nigerian Mineral Resources Decision Support System into the daily operations of mining agencies to enhance decision-making processes. The Nigerian Mineral Resources Decision Support System is a technical tool that provides support to experts in the mining industry. It offers guidance and relevant data on Nigerian mineral resources, enabling experts to make informed decisions. It also provides a platform for engaging with the national and international mining community, allowing stakeholders to provide feedback on improving the system, aligning it with industry standards, and enhancing its usability and effectiveness.
One of the key things is, let's say, as a summary of what this platform does, is brings all the departments together in a way that they can bring all this data together, connect the data, and from there build, let's say, models for the investors to be able to make decisions over that. Once all this data is brought together and all the departments, let's say, corroborate the data they have, they complement the data, this data can be brought now into the public knowledge. So another component of the system that we have built is the DSS, Decision Support System, which is a platform that is available already online, that they can, through just a click or let's say typing in the URL, they can access all this data. They visualize the data and they start making their own conclusions from, let's say, geophysical data, geochemical data, mineral occurrences, and they start identifying areas that they would like to jump in.
The ministry's workforce was trained on site and overseas on using the enhanced platform to access and enter geoscientific data effectively. The MinDiver project in Nigeria has played a vital role in transforming the country's mining sector. The project has generated a wealth of geological data that will aid decision-making, attract investors, and promote sustainable mining practices. The project achieved this through comprehensive airborne geophysical surveys, high-density geochemical mapping, and extensive topographic mapping activities. The availability of this data will contribute to unlocking Nigeria's mineral resources potential, ensuring the country's long-term economic and environmental well-being.
The MinDiver project has been very, very beneficial to us, not just in the solid mineral sector, but also Nigeria. It has contributed meaningfully into the economy of Nigeria. So I thank the World Bank, I thank the organizers, and the brains behind the MinDiver project.
The MinDiver project is an example of how strategic interventions and partnerships can drive positive change in the mining sector and diversify Nigeria's economy.